Hi there, so today is 28th of June and I've just finished off the long run. I've rounded off the end of the week of my third week of training for my ultramarathon. So I've just done my Sunday long run, got back in about half an hour ago, so I'm still a little bit in shock. My lunch is just cooking, so I thought I'd do my little weekly roundup and let you know how it's been. So the target for this week was 37 miles and I just managed to make that. I think if you watched my first video, I've been feeling very confident and comfortable about the target mileages and a bit complacent actually, so I forgot to look at the actual training plan and double check exactly how many miles were needed for a couple of the runs, so I fell a little bit short on a couple of them. But I have been doing a sort of lockdown run streak where I'm getting out for at least a mile every day, and my training plan's 5 days a week, so that's on the 2 days a week which are designated as non-run days. I've been just doing a very easy mile run around the block just to say that I logged an event on Garmin and on Strava to have that run. So that technically takes me up to the 37 miles for the week, even though I missed a couple on the actual training run, so I will be more careful with that in future. This week's been a bit of a difficult one. It's that one week in the month where everything feels just twice as hard as usual. Ladies, you'll know what I mean. So to do with my cycle, and just feels a bit more sluggish, a bit more bloated and just heavier going. And we've also had a heat wave this week, so there's been a couple of evenings where it's been much harder to get to sleep. So I think that's been a factor as well. It's been a bit extreme actually. It's a couple of really hot days and then it's cooled down again at the weekend. Today's weather was really nice for the long run. What else? So I did there's one of the sessions this week was designated as a hard effort. So the plan I'm following doesn't really give any specific guidance because it's just a generic plan. So I have picked out an intervals training type run. It's probably not the ideal thing to be using for ultra running, and I will change it up in future. But the one that I did this week was 1 minute intervals of hard effort, 1 minute of recovery. And that felt quite a good session. I was able to get some good pace and sustain for the minute intervals, which was unexpected. And about halfway through the session I was sort of checking my heart rate and going, this heart rate's not going up very high, I should probably be trying a bit harder. And I managed to push a bit harder than I thought I could, which, you know, that's always quite rewarding. And when you see the numbers that reflect that on the end. So that was what I did yesterday morning, Saturday morning, so that was really good. And then spent the day recovering from that and baked some sourdough and did some body weight training as well. And then today, Sunday, traditional long run. My continuing ambition is to be able to wake up early enough to get out the door closer to 8 AM than 9 AM, and today was another instance where that didn't happen. I didn't get out till about 9:30, but it's Sunday morning and it's just so much easier to roll over and have an extra 20 minutes in bed. So I did my usual Sunday morning breakfast of a massive bowl of oats porridge and some frozen berries in there as well, and a big cup of coffee. And as I was getting up off the sofa and starting to stand up to come and get dressed and get out the door, I noticed a bit of a twingy pain in my knee, which was a little bit unsettling. I did some sort of warm-up movements and it seemed to feel okay, and actually as soon as I started running I couldn't feel it at all, and when I stopped again it was kind of there, so I figured it was fine to just keep going, and it didn't bother me through the whole run, and now that I'm back in it's not an issue. So I was at the start I was really worried I was going to miss what's quite a big training run. 14 miles is a bit longer than I would normally do, and if I wasn't following a training plan, but I managed to get it done, so that was quite good. I went up on the Thames Path, starting from the centre of Abingdon up towards Sandford Lock near Oxford and back down again. It was nice and quiet for the first sort of half hour, 45 minutes, but then started to bump into more people, and it's quite a narrow trail path where it's just alongside the river, and a lot of bikes use it, so it has those narrow grooves in, which means that you end up getting quite close to people, and sometimes that slows you down when you're sort of waiting to go past people. So I think next time I get a long trail run, I'm going to try and take it out of town and find somewhere different to try out, because it would also be really useful, I think, for me to have some time going up and down on some hills, given that my event's going to be up in the Peak District, and yeah, my legs basically have no idea what's going to hit them. Mentally I know, but my legs are in blissful denial at the moment, so we need to start to give them a bit of an introduction to the hills. So I think that is what's on the plan for next week. So week 4 is actually a reduced load week, so most training plans you'll notice they'll build and then drop down, so that you get a slightly easier week where you can adapt to the increased in mileage that you've been doing. So this week's target total was 37. Next week's target total is 32, so it's a little bit less. And there's a hill session in there, and that's the only hard session for next week. So I'm going to go up to Whitnham Clumps, I think, somewhere nearby, and try and do some up and down stuff and practice that. But yeah, other than that, I think it's been a fairly steady week. I'm still doing my body pump on a Monday night. I have the ambition of doing a bit more resistance training than that during the week, but I think while I've got this ultra marathon focus, I will not worry about that too much. And given that body pump's a full body session, so it's working all the major muscle groups, I think it's okay to have one of those once a week. And then I do plenty of yoga as well, body balance, and I did a yoga class as well, so that helps to keep things ticking over. I think that's all I have to say for this week, so I hope everyone's having a good Sunday afternoon, and I'm going to eat quite a lot of carbohydrates now, probably have a nap, and then I have a body balance class this evening, which is quite a nice way to stretch out, especially after the longer run, so I'm looking forward to that. And then I'll update you again how it goes next week.